Michel Legrand is a French musical composer, arranger, conductor, and pianist. Legrand is a prolific composer, having written over 200 film and television scores in addition to many memorable songs. He is best known for his often haunting film music and scores, such as The Umbrellas of Cherbourg and The Thomas Crown Affair featuring the song The Windmills of Your Mind, for which he won his first Academy Award. Early life: Legrand was born in the Bar Copyright Con-les-Bruyères district of Courbevoie, a suburb of Paris. His father Raymond Legrand was a conductor and composer renowned for hits such as Irma la Douce, and his mother was Marcel de Michael Leon, who married Legrand Sr. in 1929. His maternal grandfather was of Armenian descent and considered a member of the bourgeoisie. Career: Legrand has composed more than 200 film and television scores and several musicals and has made well over 100 albums. He has won 3 Oscars and 5 Grammys and has been nominated for an Emmy. He was 22 when his first album, I Love Paris, became one of the best-selling instrumental albums ever released. He is a virtuoso jazz and classical pianist and an accomplished arranger and conductor who performs with orchestras all over the world. He studied music at the Paris Conservatoire from 1943-50, working with, among others, Nadia Boulanger, who also taught many other composers, including Aaron Copland and Philippe Glass, and Esther Piazzolla. Legrand graduated with top honors as both a composer and a pianist. Jazz recordings: Legrand has also contributed significant work in jazz. While on a visit to the U.S. in 1958, Legrand collaborated with such musicians as Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Bill Evans, Phil Woods, Ben Webster, Hank Jones, and Art Farmer in an album of inventive orchestrations of jazz standards titled Legrand Jazz. The following year, back in Paris with bassist Guy Pedersen and percussionist Gus Wallace, he recorded an album of Paris-themed songs arranged for jazz piano trio, titled Paris Jazz Piano. Nearly a decade later he recorded at Shelley's Manhole, a live trio session with bassist Ray Brown and drummer Shelly Mann, in which 4 of the compositions were improvised on the spot. Legrand also provided an odd scat vocal on My Funny Valentine. Legrand returned to his role as jazz arranger for the Stan Getz album Communications 72 and resumed his collaboration with Phil Woods on Jazz Legrand and After the Rain. Then, he collaborated with violinist Stéphane Grappelli on an album in 1992. Not as well received as his earlier work in the field of jazz was a 1994 album for Laser Light entitled Michel Plays Legrand. More recently, in 2002, he recorded a solo jazz piano album reworking 14 of his classic songs, Michel Legrand by Michel Legrand. His jazz piano style is virtuosic and eclectic, drawing upon such influences as Art Tatum, Errol Garner, Oscar Peterson, and Bill Evans. In 1966, he made the arrangements of the international song Kissy Bon by Henri Betty and Andra copyright Hornis for the Barbra Streisand album Color Me Barbara. In 1948, his father Raymond Legrand had conducted the orchestra for the recording of this song by Les Sosa Permulsion. A number of his songs, including What Are You Doing the Rest of Your Life?, Watch What Happens, The Summer Knows, and You Must Believe in Spring, have become jazz standards covered frequently by other artists. Eclecticism. During various periods of creative work, Legrand became a conductor for orchestras in St. Petersburg, Florida, Vancouver, Montreal, Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and Denver. He recorded more than 100 albums with international musical stars and worked with such diverse musicians as Phil Woods, Ray Charles, Claude Nougaro, Perry Como, Neil Diamond, Ella Fitzgerald, Aretha Franklin, Lena Horne, James Ingram, Jack Jones, Kiri Te Kanawa, Tamara Javad-Seitley, Frankie Lane, Teresa Xavager, Johnny Mathis, Jesse Norman, Diana Ross, Frank Sinatra, Barbra Streisand, Sarah Vaughan, Shirley Bassey, Andy Williams, Regine Velasquez, Nana Mouskouri and Nathalie Dessay. Legrand has also recorded classical piano pieces by Eric Satie and American composers such as Amy Beach, George Gershwin, Aaron Copland, John Cage, and Conlon Nancarrow. He is a prolific recorder of jazz, popular and classical music albums, having released over 100. His sister, Christian Legrand, was a member of the Swingle Singers, and his niece Victoria Legrand is a member of the indie rock duo Beach House. Film scores. Legrand is known principally as a composer of innovative music for films, composing film scores for directors Jean-Luc Godard, Richard Brooks, Claude Lelouch, Clint Eastwood, Barbra Streisand, Robert Altman, Joseph Losey, and many others. Legrand himself appears and performs in Agnès Varda's French New Wave classic, Cleo from 5 to 7. After his songs appeared in Jacques Demy's films The Umbrellas of Cherbourg and The Young Girls of Rochefort, Legrand became famous worldwide. The Umbrellas of Cherbourg was a sung-through musical in which all the dialogue was set to music, a revolutionary concept at the time. Hollywood soon became interested in Legrand after The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, bombarding him with requests to compose music for films. Having begun to collaborate with Hollywood, Legrand continued to work there for many years. Among his best-known scores are those for The Thomas Crown Affair, which features the hit song The Windmills of Your Mind, and Summer of '42, which features another hit song, The Summer Knows. Legrand also wrote the score for Orson Welles' last completed film, F for Fake. Music charts. Legrand's instrumental version of the theme from Brian's song charted for 8 weeks in 1972, peaking at number 56. Currently, Legrand divides his time between America and France. Selected discography: 1954 I Love Paris, 1955 Holiday in Rome, 1956 Castles in Spain, 1957 Bonjour Paris, 1957 Kissed Magnifique, 1958 Legrand in Rio, 1958 The Columbia album of Cole Porter, 1959 Paris Jazz Piano, 1959 The New I Love Paris, 1959 Legrand Jazz, 1964 Archie Chords, 1964 Plays for Dancers, 1967 Violent Violins, 1968 At Shelley's Manhole, 1974 20 Songs of the Century, 1983 After the Rain, 1995 Michel Legrand Big Band, 2013 Enter L.A. Louis. Filmography. Computer games, Torrens Passage. Television, Brian's song, Yume le Dauphin Blanc, The Adventures of Don Quixote, It's Good to Be Alive, Cage Without a Key, Michel's mixed-up musical Bird, Once Upon a Time. Space, A Woman Named Golda, The Jesse Owens Story, Promises to Keep, As Summers Die, Once Upon a Time. Life, Not a Penny More, Not a Penny Less, La Montagna dei Diamanti, Once Upon a Time. The Discoverers, The Ring, Once Upon a Time. The Explorers, Songbird Sings Legrand. Musical theatre, Legrand composed the score for the musical Amir, which premiered in 2002 on Broadway and was translated into English by Jeremy Sams and was directed by James Lapine. This musical was his Broadway debut, and while it ran for only 17 performances and 31 previews, it garnered a loyal fan base due to its much-praised cast album on Ghostlight Records, and subsequent multiple Tony Award nominations, including Best Score for Michel Legrand and Best Actress for its leading actress Melissa Errico. Legrand continued his collaboration with Errico to the present day, appearing at such jazz venues as Dizzy's at Lincoln Center. Though he has rarely done this for any solo artist, Michel Legrand arranged, conducted and accompanied Errico with a 100-piece symphony on her CD Legrand Affair featuring his songs, Hidden French Gems, as well as one new song with lyrics by Alan and Marilyn Bergman. The CD was produced by Phil Ramon and is featured in Ramon's 2007 book Making Records, The Scenes Behind the Music. The world premiere of the new musical Marguerite from Alain Boublil and Claude Michel Paragraph NBERG, the creators of Les Mises copyright Rebels and Miss Saigon, included music by Michel Legrand and lyrics by Herbert Kretzmer. Marguerite is set during World War II in occupied Paris, and was inspired by the romantic novel La Dame au Carme copyright Lears by Alexander Dumas, Fils. It premiered in May 2008 at the Haymarket Theatre, London and was directed by Jonathan Kent. Awards: Legrand has won 3 Oscars, 5 Grammys, and has been nominated for an Emmy. The following are some of the awards and nominations with which Legrand's works have been honored. Academy Award nominations: Best Original Score, Substantially Original Score, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, Best Original Score for a Motion Picture, The Thomas Crown Affair, Best Original Song Score and its Adaptation or Best Adaptation Score, The Young Girls of Rochefort, Best Original Dramatic Score, Summer of 42, Best Original Song Score and its Adaptation or Best Adaptation Score, Yentl, Best Original Song, I Will Wait for You from The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, The Windmills of Your Mind from The Thomas Crown Affair, What Are You Doing the Rest of Your Life? From The Happy Ending, Pieces of Dreams from Pieces of Dreams, How Do You Keep the Music Playing? From Best Friends, Papa, Can You Hear Me? And The Way He Makes Me Feel, both from Yentl. Golden Globe nominations Original Score, The Thomas Crown Affair, The Happy Ending, Wuthering Heights, Le Mans, Summer of 42, Lady Sings the Blues, Breezy, Yentl. Original Song, The Windmills of Your Mind from The Thomas Crown Affair, What Are You Doing the Rest of Your Life? From The Happy Ending, Pieces of Dreams from Pieces of Dreams, Breezy's Song from Breezy, Yesterday's Dreams from Falling in Love Again, The Way He Makes Me Feel from Yentl. Grammy Award nominations Best Arrangement Accompanying Vocalist, Happy Ending, Song of the Year, The Summer Knows from Summer of 42, Best Instrumental Composition, Brian's Song, TV, Best Original Score written for a motion picture or television special, The Three Musketeers, Best Instrumental Composition, Images, Best Jazz Performance by a Big Band, Images, Best Original Score Album, Yentl, Best Instrumental Arrangement Accompanying Vocals, Yentl. Theatre nominations Tony Award for Best Original Score, Amir, Drama Desk Award for Outstanding Original Score, Amir. Emmy Award nominations Outstanding Achievement in Music Composition for a Limited Series or a Special, A Woman Called Golda, TV. Fencas nominations Song Score, Original or Adaptation, Yentl, Original Song, The Way He Makes Me Feel from Yentl. Apex nominations Original Score, Comedy, Best Friends, Original Song, Drama, The Way He Makes Me Feel from Yentl, Original Song Score Compilation, Drama, Yentl. Australian Film Institute Award nominations Best Original Music Score, Dingo. Prix Molière Award Best Musical, Le Passé Murale. ASCAP Henry Mancini Award for Le Passé Murale. Golden Eagle Award Outstanding Contribution to World Cinema. References. External links, Official website, Biography of Michel Legrand, from Radio France Internationale, Michel Legrand at the Internet Movie Database, Michel Legrand at the Internet Broadway Database, non-official website of Michel Legrand Plus.